And life is filled with stress, correct? I like to share because in 2017, I had the year that was the most craziest year of my life. My grandbaby was diagnosed, she was 11 months old, was diagnosed with diabetes. And in January, which was super scary because a baby with diabetes is very, very difficult to get under control. My other daughter, and she was one of daughters, my other daughter was pregnant, ready to have her first baby. She'd done everything right. She'd done all the classes. She was ready. She had the baby natural. Perfect birth. And 3 days later, she ended up in postpartum depression. Not only postpartum depression, but postpartum, OCD, psychosis, and ended up in the psych ward, which was terrible because here she has this little baby, and her mom, I don't have answers. It was super, super hard. On top of that, my basement flooded twice. My roof had to be replaced. My kitchen floor flooded because of the little thingy that goes on your ice thingy, right? Yeah. All had to be replaced, all in 1 year. It was one of those years you're like, wow. So stress is crazy, isn't it? All right, so I am a certified hypnotherapist and a recovery nutrition coach. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Because let me ask you this. Anybody ever seen a three-legged stool? Now, what happens if one of those stool legs is broken? It will not stand, will it? No. And that's what this program is about. So, balancing the brain with amino acids, nourish the body with a nutrient-rich diet, and releasing negative thoughts and emotions through hypnotherapy. By having all three of those strong, that brings in optimal health. Correct? Do you guys agree with that? If one of those areas is not in alignment, I am going to give you, I've given you some paperwork so you can look through it, because I want to give you the basics, and a lot of this stuff is going to be on the handout, or you can go to my website, which is www.hypnoaminos.com. I'm going to give you as much information as I can in this time before we go eat dinner about what I want to teach you. So, when we feel off and we don't feel right, we look for the easiest way to make us feel better, right? And that may not be healthy, but as human beings, we want to feel good, right? We want to be on that homeostasis type level that everything is good, going good. And when we don't feel that way, we're going to go look and find some way to make us feel that way. And so when you're struggling, and I asked you if you have anxiety, depression, lack of energy, lack of sleep, any of those things, what would it feel like if you felt great? What would it look like if you felt wonderful? What would it feel like if you had energy, if you slept well, if the anxiety, depression was gone, if the stress was under control? How would that feel? You're like, hallelujah, right? So that's what I want to do, is I want to show you the easiest way that I have found to get things under control and take back your life. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about this right now. Here we go. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. So first of all, this is my one grandbaby. This is a diabetic. And I love to show this because her mom always says to her every morning, Brecklin, what are you? She's like, I am smart, I am pretty, and I am awesome. And I thought, what would it be like if we got up every morning and said that? So I want you to pretend like you're Brecklin. She's 2. And on the count of 3, we're going to say, I am smart, I am pretty, and I am awesome. Okay, ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. I am smart, I am pretty, and I am awesome. And this is my other grandbaby right here. And actually, I just want to show pictures of the grandbabies, just so you know. I kept thinking, how can I put these going into my story? Actually, I wanted you to see right here that what I want to teach you is that there are answers. Sometimes they come in weird ways, and it's all going to be okay. And that's kind of the story I want to tell you about. Because you see, these are my daughters. Well, 2 of them. So I had 2 daughters, and I thought I was the best mom in the world because they were super easy. You know, they're the ones that you're like, oh, my kids will never have sugar. You know, my kids are going to be perfect. You guys understand that? And then you get a couple easy ones. You're like, look how awesome I am. I am the best mom ever, right? And I thought it was so easy, I needed to have one more. Okay? Now, little did I know that my number 3 one, this is her right here. She's my caboose. Her name is Angeli. Call her Angel. She's that one child that you say, you know, God was holding her last because he knew if he gave her to me first, I would never have another child ever. Any of you guys feel that way sometimes? Okay? And that was her. She came out and she was so perfect and she was beautiful. And 2 weeks, I held her literally for 2 weeks thinking, I'm never going to put her down again because I knew I was not having any more and I was just going to enjoy it. And it was really weird because within that 2-week period, I was holding her one night and I had this voice come to me. And it was a voice that said, this child is special. And she is going to try everything you have and she's going to be so hard, but you're going to learn so much from her. I looked around thinking, where the heck is that voice coming from? And how hard can it be? I mean, this beautiful baby, how hard can she be? Right? I really didn't know. I learned really quickly how hard that meant because I didn't realize that she was an empath. I didn't know what empaths were back then. She was just one that was very, very, if you have empaths for children, everything bothers them. You know, they're more sensitive. They're kinesthetically, I mean, her clothes, everything everything was so intense. And I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, this is a piece, if this is all it is, though, I can handle this, right? Well, at age 6 years old, she was diagnosed with anxiety. Any of you guys have kids with anxiety in here? Okay. And I didn't know what that meant either. So I go to the school counselor. She's like, oh, it's not a big deal. She just has anxiety. Because I'd leave her and she was like, Mom, where are you going? I can't tell me what to do because you are 5, 6. And you're the last kid and I am free to do whatever I want the rest of the day. But to her, it was like she was just so uptight. And I went to the doctor, like all good moms do, right? He's like, don't worry, it's just a chemical imbalance. Give her this pill, she'll be fine. Okay, great. And she wasn't. We went from doctor to doctor to other meds to try to find something that would help her. And this beautiful little daughter at age 15 came to me and said, Mom, I'm really tired of being a doctor's science project. I just want to feel normal. Now, if any of you have ever struggled with anxiety, depression, all you want to do is feel normal, right? It's like, that's it, I just want to feel good. I understood what she had to say, but it scared me because I thought, wait a minute, what does that mean? And I knew in my heart that if she was ever introduced to drugs and alcohol, she'd be instantly addicted. And that scared me. I kept thinking, why am I failing my daughter? Why can't I find something to help her? And at 15 and a half, she was introduced to drugs and alcohol. And guess what? She was instantly addicted. She started out with alcohol, went to marijuana, and later turned to meth. Took us through 8 years of hell. And as her mom, I worried every time she left the house because would I get a phone call that she was dead? Or would I get a phone call that she had killed somebody else? If any of you have ever worked with somebody that is on meth, that is the drug of the devil. It literally changes every part of you. And it was scary because my other call was that she was in jail. But I gotta tell you, the hardest call I ever made was calling the cops to have them take her to jail. Because I said, Mom, that's really difficult. But she was so out of control and she had got in my face and I told her, if you touch me, I'm calling the cops. And she did. And I had to call the cops on my daughter and have her arrested. And that was awful. This was the before amino acids. This is the after. Now can you see why I'm so passionate about what I do? So I have to tell you my story, a little bit more about what happened. So we lived this 8 years of hell. And 2017, I told you about all the other those things that were happening to me. You know, the daughters and the floors and everything. I also had a daughter that was in jail. And the thing that would happen is she'd get out of jail and she'd be clean for about 6 months. And then she'd relapse. And she'd get out of jail and she'd kept going through this. And what I learned about somebody who's an addict is that, first of all, it's a disease. And second of all they're doing is white knuckling it. Anybody here knows anybody that's an alcoholic or a drug addict? So it affects most of us, doesn't it? And so as a mom, all I wanted was answers, because I would just pray. So May of 2017, she was in jail again. And she got out, put her in rehab, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is going to be her. She's going to do great. She'll be wonderful. And I could see that process. She's clean, and I start to see her start to falter again. And all I could do is pray, Heavenly Father, I need an answer. What is going to help my daughter? Because I was afraid to lose her at 23 years old. And Gephardt, if anybody know who Gephardt is, he's on TV Channel 2. He does consumer stories. He was doing a story on rehab and amino acids. What they do is they give large doses of amino acids through an IV to addicts. And what they found is after 3 days, the cravings start to go away, and after 10 days, they're almost completely gone. They have an 85% rate of recovery, which is phenomenal if you know anything about rehab. Okay? And I thought, this is my answer. I absolutely knew it was my answer. It's $1,000 a day. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's a lot of money. So I start researching, and I thought, well, fine. If the research is out there, it's got to be somewhere, and all I have to do is figure this out, right? I'm smart. I can Google it. But I could figure out what they needed. So I thought, I'm going to go to the health food store. I'm going to buy a whole bunch of amino acids in capsules, and I'm going to give them to my daughters in large amounts, and she'll be all better. And luckily, my son-in-law, who is a nurse, said, you can't just throw amino acids at people. You need to understand how they work. Like, whatever, fine, whatever, right? So I found a rehab place in Florida, and I call him and say, help me out. How can you help me with my daughter? And he's like, you know what? I'll make it even better. In 3 weeks, we're doing a training on amino acids in Salt Lake City, and you will learn everything you need to know. I was like, thank you. Okay. So I show up, I'm late, like really late, like a half hour late, and I get there, and all this room's filled with all these practitioners and doctors and everything, and there's one place available in the front of the room. I march up to the front, I'm sitting down, nobody see me, and the teacher starts talking. And she's like, okay, Lyle, what do you want to tell us about the amino acids? And he's like, he starts talking, and he's sitting right next to me. So I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand. And what I learned from that class changed my daughter's life, because I got her on the amino acids, and I got her back. But then I learned, because I thought, this is cool, I need to become a certified coach, so I can help more people. I thought it was just for addicts too, until I put everybody else I could think of on them. And what I found out is that it helps with the weight loss. It helps with cravings. It helps with anxiety. It helps with depression. It helps with anything, doesn't it, Mandy? Yeah. I'm like, this is super cool. So how did it help me? Well, these are the amino acids right here. And the first one I talk about is dopamine. And I'm not going to go through these all because you've got them in your handout, but this is a really cool story. So I get there. I am addicted to sugar. I love sugar. I love Diet Coke. I'm exhausted because I stay up late. So I get to this training and I'm like, all I want to do is go and get me some Good and Plenty's and a Diet Coke and go take a nap. Because I'm thinking, I can't even figure out how I'm going to get through this whole workshop because I'm like exhausted. I just knew I was going to close my eyes and not wake up. So the instructor's like, okay, if you're feeling this way, I want you to mark 0 to 10 on an amino acid chart. And 0 meaning you never feel this way, 10 meaning, oh my gosh, I feel this way all the time. And I was like a 10. I could have been like a 20 or something if I could have. And she said, if you feel that way, take 1 tyrosine, wait 20 minutes. See how you feel. So I waited 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, I kept thinking, is this a placebo effect? Because I could feel my energy going up and my cravings going down. But it wasn't quite there. So she's like, if you're not quite where you want to be, take 1 more. I took 1 more. And all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, I now had energy. I wasn't craving the sugar. And I felt great. So I'm like, okay, there's something to this stuff. I took it home and gave it to my daughter. And right then, she was on all the meds she could think of to keep away from drugs, but she also didn't wake up. She was all she wanted to do was sleep. And I said, okay, Angeli, take 2. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. Because I knew I had 1 shot to make this right. Because we tried all these things. If it wasn't right, she'd never try again. Tell me how you feel. She's like, okay. So I said, okay. I get home. How do you feel? I felt jittery. And I'm like, crap. That means she's very sensitive. She'll never use them. I'm going to do this. What am I going to do next? And next morning she wakes up and goes, Mom, I want one of those energy pills. I said, but you said they made you jittery. Well, that's because I took 2 of them with 3 cups of coffee. Oh. I'm like, well, that is a good reason. So I decided at that moment that there was something to this. I ended up going to the class and becoming a certified coach. And I don't know where I am in my notes, so I'm going to give it a list of everything. So, you're moving a bit again. Sorry. So, here we go. Anyway, I got done with it, and my daughter, the same daughter, is a terrible traveler. And I said to her, okay, we're going to go to California. She had a boyfriend in the Marines, and he had invited her to the Marine Ball, and it was more stressful for me to think that she was going to go there. She'd have to fly to San Francisco, fly to Monterey, get an Uber. I mean, I got this daughter who's a recovering addict, and she's going to California where marijuana is legal, and she's 24, so she can get alcohol. And I'm like, this is causing me more stress than anything. So Mom says, hi, I'll go with you. We'll fly to San Francisco and we'll drive to Monterey, and then you can go do whatever you want, and I'm going to stay on the beach. I don't care if I don't see you again. But I knew at least if I was in the same state and she had some type of a breakdown, I would be there to help her. But now I'm stressed because, like I said, she's a terrible traveler anytime. But 4 days before we left, her boyfriend broke up with her. So now I'm like, okay, do I take her? Do I stay home? If I stay home, I have a daughter who is potentially going to relapse because she feels terrible about herself. She's going to think this is horrible. I'm like, no, we already paid for this. And you deserve to dress up beautiful, and you deserve to see him face to face and tell him that's not right. You cannot break up with somebody over text. I'm sorry, it's not right. But here I am now stressed going, oh my gosh, I have to take my daughter on this trip where it's already a volatile situation and figure out how to make this work. And so I gave her GABA and 5-HTP, and it was incredible. It was so wonderful. We had a great trip. I had the best trip ever. Yeah, it was sad. She had a sad night, but she got to learn that she could live through it, right? And she didn't die or anything like that. We got through this horrible thing. And we had a fabulous time. And that's when I decided, wow, this is incredible. Okay? So, what they do, okay? So let's talk about for just a second what the amino acids do. First of all, amino acids are just the building blocks of protein. Okay? They're just, your body knows what to do with them, or they create them. Okay, so you're not taking something weird, and you have 4 neurotransmitters in your brain: dopamine, serotonin, GABA, and endorphins. Those are your happy, calm, feel good, energy chemicals in your brain. When they become depleted, the symptoms I asked if you had are the symptoms that happen. Now, when you start taking the specific amino acids for that symptom, what does this? It helps it raise and balance your brain. It's phenomenal. The cool thing is, if your body needs them, you're going to feel it in 20 minutes. And they're inexpensive. They're amazing. It made me angry because I thought to myself, had I known about these in the 90s when my daughter was born, she wouldn't have to self-medicate herself. And that's why I want to share it. Because there's lots of people out there with kids now that are struggling with anxiety, depression, or people themselves. And the research is out there. They're phenomenal. So, the 6 that I have, one is called Happy. That's for your endorphins. One is called, we'll have to think about it. It's called, because I had to change it. Because it's trademarked, and I needed to change it because the trademark's taken. But it was control, let's see, what is it? Craving control. And now it's going to be craving be gone. And one of them is positive mood, and that's for your serotonin, and it's going to be positive mind. And then one is for sleep, which is called positive sleep, because that's tryptophan. And the coolest one is called GABA chill, like take a chill pill. Because you know that feeling when you're uptight, overstressed, out of control, you cannot calm down? It's like a natural Valium, but it doesn't put you to sleep, and it tastes like oranges. It's pretty awesome. Now, last year I didn't know anything about this, right, Tammy? And her and I ran up into each other at the piano guys, and we start talking, and I start talking to her about amino acids, and she's like, wait a minute, I'm taking those. So then she's like, we need to have a session. We need to learn how to make this work, right? And all of a sudden she's like, we're talking, and she's like, yeah, I take GABA. And I take it first thing in the morning. And I said, So Tammy, tell him, how does it make you feel?
It makes you chill. It makes you relax.
I'm like, so how do you feel in the morning? She's like, I feel like I want to go to sleep. I said, well, that's probably because unless you really need it in the morning, that's not what I want to take in the morning. It's not energy. So then she invites me to go to Mesa, which I was so excited to go this time. I was so planning and everything, and this is beside the point, but now I get to go speak to my 8-year-old nephew about the Holy Ghost for baptism instead. But anyway, yeah, I gotta choose the right. Anyway,
which is the right amino acid?
I went down with Tammy last year. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have my own amino acids, nothing. And literally at 3 o'clock in the morning, her and Kristen Hicks, I met her. She was helping me put my presentation together. And she's like, well, why don't you have your own amino acids? And I'm like, I don't know. And Tammy had all said, what? You have your own amino acids? I'm like, I don't know.
She sent me a link on Amazon. I'm like, what? Why are you doing that?
I'm like, can you do that? Did you guys know you could do that? Did you know I can do that? It's pretty cool. I did that. And they're cheap. So the most expensive one is $21.95. That's very happy. The cheapest one is $13.95, and everything else is in between. So that is cool. Yeah, can I have it? Awesome, right? So, is that way cool? They're just inexpensive, and it's like, why are we not hearing about this? Well, okay, I'm going to go into that why we're not hearing about this, but you guys probably figure out who is in charge of the pharmaceutical companies, right? And all that stuff. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, so I want to ask if you guys
The easiest way to explain that, right away, is that they cannot patent amino acids. And because they can't patent them, they cannot sell exclusively for hundreds of dollars. And so that's why they're not talking about amino acids, because the pharmaceutical drug companies cannot patent them. And that's the easy answer right there.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. So as I kind of go through those with those symptoms, anybody here think that they may need their brain balance? Okay?
Balance.
So on the back of your paper is an amino acid chart. And I don't want to take a lot of time because I'd like to get into hypnotherapy really quickly. But what I want you to do, just for just like a minute, just kind of start as fast as you can. And what you're going to do is in column 1, you're going to rate from 0 to 10. 0, I never feel this way. Yes. I got a whole bunch of papers somewhere. Yeah. Thank you. There's papers and a bag.
Where's yours?
Okay, so you're going to rate 0 to 10. 0 meaning you never feel this way. Just 10 meaning, oh my gosh, I feel this way all the time.
Yeah, go get one.
And you can only get 1 minute, so as fast. I don't want you to think through it very fast, but I want you to just look it over. If you've got a pen, hurry, mark them all the way down the list. Okay, you got 1 minute. Go.
I forgot about that. That's so funny. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking GABA. Well, how does that make you feel? You're like, question mark.
So this is section 1 over here. Okay, as fast as you can, from 0 to 10. Look it up and figure. If you don't have a pen, real quickly, just look and see which numbers you get. 0 to 10. 10 meaning you feel it's like, oh my gosh, all the time.
I have pens.
Okay. 30 more seconds.
All of them. I need them. That's what I do.
Really fast. That's why I don't want you to put a stop to it. Because if you do, then you won't. You got it.
That chick behind you right there, she's got some stuff that you should add to your day's pot too.
Oh, yeah? Okay, 10 more seconds.
Wow.
And you can fill this out later. I just want you to kind of get an idea, okay? I want you to look it over, and if you could answer 5 and above consistently, then raise your hand.
What's the
5 and above.
filler?
Okay? Now, some people are going to only need 1 area, others might need all 6 areas. Okay, everybody's different. And everybody's absolutely, you can take them all 6 at a time. Because
Tell us when to take them every day.
yeah. Because what they do is they don't cross each other and they go to the specific thing. Okay? And the reason they're so awesome is because you get some amino acids from food, but when you eat the food, you have to digest the food. And then you don't get to say, I need all this to go to my brain. Right? It's going to go to wherever it's going to go. And that's why these are so quick and awesome, because if your body needs it, like I said, you'll feel it in 20 minutes. It's incredible. Okay, so really quickly, the last one of them is glutamine. And glutamine is a brain cell food, and it feeds your brain. Okay, and the reason it's so important is because a lot of people go into hypoglycemia because we don't eat good. So if you eat a lot of sugars and starches, or you skip meals, you go into what's called the hypoglycemic state.
I need to buy one of those.
Yes, and what happens when you're in a hypoglycemic state is you have, in your brain, you have what's called your cognitive thought process, right? You have a prefrontal cortex, and that's in charge of that cognitive thought processes. That means, I'm going to make this choice, and this is going to be the outcome, okay? It's your willpower, it's your drive, it's what you use when you want to reach a goal, okay? That's kind of like your conscious stuff. Well, when it gets shut off because you're in a hypoglycemic state because we're eating a lot of sugar, or we're not eating, then what happens is you become irritable and irrational. That hangry feeling is a real feeling. You know, that one that you're like, I'm going to stay away from sugar, and you're upstairs working on something, and next thing you know, you've got to go to the pantry, and you're like, I will have whatever I can find. Give me the sugar cubes. I don't care what I have, right? Yeah, that's that
Like she has a video camera
and you
like
become
that.
very irrational, meaning, I'm going to make this choice, but I don't care what the outcome is. Okay, so for an addict, that's when they relapse, is because they are at that point that when you need something, when you become irrational, you're going to go with whatever is the easiest to make you feel good. Okay, and that doesn't just mean food and alcohol or sugars. That also means pornography, shopping, gaming, internet, anything that your brain goes, I need it and I need it now. And that's what these help with, okay? Along with the diet. Okay, I just told you, that's the best part about it, is that they're cheap. And they work. Now, next thing we'll talk about really quickly is hypnotherapy. Because I am a hypnotherapist. And what is it? Well, it's just that your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, your subconscious is 10 to 15% of your thought processes. Your subconscious mind is 85% of your thought processes. Now, your conscious mind is the, I need to get dressed, I need to go to work. It's your willpower, okay? Your subconscious is your thoughts and your emotions and everything that you've experienced since you were born or before, up until about age 7, and then anything that made a difference since then, okay, which like an impact in your life, okay? Now, the problem is in between there, about age 8, we have what's called a filter factor, and it's developed. And that's your judgment, whether you judge something that is right for you or not, okay? Now, how many of you have kids or seen kids, right? Okay? Now, you know kids, and you know how that they accept everything as true. They're like sponges, right? But it may not be, correct? Your subconscious is the same thing. It accepts everything as truth, but it may not be. But the difference is your subconscious job is to keep you safe and protected. So if it's living on a false story, guess who always wins? The subconscious always wins. So anybody here have goals that you've set and there's like blocks and you can't reach them? Okay? Or your subconscious is saying, but I want this to happen, and this other thing is down here is going, So you have like this mind chatter going on, kind of like, the little devil over here, the little angel over here, and it's like, I don't know where I'm going, right? That's what's happening. It's like they're playing tug of war with each other. And the hard thing is, you don't know what this is down here, right? So a quick example is, let's say a 2-year-old is watching a movie with mom and dad, and they're watching a movie about a plane crash, okay? And to them, the adult is like, oh, this is just entertainment, this is fun, these are just actors and actresses, they go home the next day, right? Well, for a little child, they see this and they see this chaos and the plane crashes and everybody dies, and they're like, that's scary, right? Mom and dad don't even realize that the kid's even paying attention. So that story is developed. Let's say at age 18, this little child is now grown up, the parents are like, we're going to take you on a trip to Hawaii. Yay, we're going to Hawaii. And the kid's going, how great, how are we getting there? Airplane, nope, not going. What? Okay? Because the subconscious built that story, right? So it doesn't matter how much consciously you continue to say, well, wait a minute, this is stupid. Planes are safe. 99.999% of the time, planes get where they're going to go. That's really dumb. The subconscious is saying, my job is to keep you safe and protected. Now that adult has forgotten where that story came from, right? But it's still there, and it's the one that's running the show. And that's how powerful our subconscious is. Okay? And in hypnotherapy, it is a natural thing. You go through it every single night. It's like science. So, as you go to sleep, anybody ever driven somewhere, you get there and go, I do not remember how I got here. Done that? Okay? That is a sign that's a first stage of hypnosis. Because you're in the back of your brain, you're not paying attention where you're going. The second level is meditation. The third level is where the subconscious and conscious can talk to each other. Because the filter moves out of the way, and you can figure out what it is that's stopping you. Okay, what are the emotions? Why am I feeling this way? Okay, you guys all believe in affirmations, right? Okay, affirmations are wonderful, but a lot of times in the conscious, it's not, your conscious doesn't believe it. Okay, because you also look for things to justify it. Why you feel this way, right? And as long as that consciousness or that story's still there, you can go through the affirmations. But it takes a lot more to get it to go down, because it hits that filter and goes, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true, right? So you have to use the affirmations a long time before finally the subconscious will go, okay, I get it. Maybe this could be true. Well, if you do the same affirmations in hypnosis, they go right down in the subconscious, and it helps them to grow faster. Is that cool? Okay. So now, a lot of times people say, hypnosis is scary. People say, I'll tell my hypnotherapist, and they'll look at me like, some will say that's cool. Others get this glazed eyes like, oh my gosh, she's like weird. And she's either gonna read my mind or she's gonna control it. And if I could control anybody's mind, I'd have controlled my daughter's when she was growing up. Or I'm gonna make you get up here and act like a chicken, right? That's all people know. That's not that, okay? So what it is that state where you're going to sleep and you're like, this is so wonderful. And everything feels heavy and your mind's awake a little bit, but your brain, your arms and everything are asleep. Next thing you know, you're awake. It's pretty phenomenal. And it works. And it's really cool because I have several people in here and I've asked them, I said, can I tell them that I've worked with you? And they said, yes. So everybody in here that I've worked with, just raise your hand. Yay, that's pretty cool. I realized that was really cool when we got here. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, they've had some great stories. I know that Angela's was about her throat. She was not taking responsibility for her throat. And Sarah had a really hard relationship with her dad. And so it was really cool to work with her. Trisha, I did this last week. I wanted to tell you because I've never done this before. It was so cool. But we get her in hypnosis and it was on confusion. She just has all these things going on in her brain and all these different parts and she couldn't figure out how to bring them together. She's got her eyes closed and she's in hypnosis and she's like, I'm spinning. I'm like, what do you mean you're spinning? She goes, I'm spinning. I'm like, I'm spinning? I'm spinning. She literally felt like the room was totally spinning. And I'm thinking, I've never done this before. What do I do? I actually get inspiration because I'm not that smart. So obviously, I get a lot of help when I'm doing hypnotherapy. Actually, I am really smart. But I'm not smart enough to know what you need, and somebody else is, right? And she's like, I think I got to put my foot down. I'm like, okay. So she puts her foot down. And I said, well, maybe you should take the second foot, put it down so you're grounded. And all of a sudden, she felt her body stop, but her brain, her head, she said it was like floating like a balloon. It was freaking crazy. But she was able to get out of it, realize what it was, and then release it. Because that's what you're doing, is desensitizing memories and emotions so that they become just memories. And they no longer hold that trigger that you've been that's holding you down, okay? So we're gonna go through a really short one really quickly because then you guys can go have some dinner. So I want you to just get comfortable. But first of all, I want you to take a deep breath for me. Everybody take a deep breath. Okay. Awesome. Now stop for a minute. I want you to put your hand right here on your tummy. I want you to pretend like you have a balloon in your tummy, whatever your favorite color is, right here. Okay? So this time, I want you to breathe like this. Watch. Okay? Do you see the difference? Okay, now, where is it, Maurice? The girl that had the shirt on that said Vegas versus Vegas? Okay? Marcy, right there. Okay, that's what we're doing is we want to get your vagus nerve so it engages because that's what causes you to calm down. So if anytime you feel overstressed, if you can close your eyes and get that vagus nerve to engage, you're going to feel that calming down. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this is where breath I want because the first time I said it, you went, okay. This is the fight or flight breath, and when you breathe like that, you're feeling anxious, anxiety. This gets worse, right? People go to the hospital because they think they're having a heart attack and all they're having is an anxiety attack. But the physical part of the anxiety is real. So when you are hypoventilating, because you're not breathing out and you're in this anxiety, it causes all your muscles to get tight, which makes it feel like you're having a heart attack. Just a side note. Okay? Anyway, so close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath. Inhaling. That's right. Feeling calm, feeling peace. Calm and peace. No cares, no worries. Just relaxing, focusing on that balloon in your tummy, whatever color it is. Excellent. Now, I want you to take 3 deep breaths for the past. Because the past is not here. It does you way too much. It takes too much energy to worry about the past. So instead, you're just going to let it take you deeper into relaxation. Feeling calm. Feeling peace. Calm and peace. Excellent. No cares, no worries. Now take 3 deep breaths for the future. Because the future is not here. And it takes way too much energy to worry about the future. So instead of worrying about the future, I just want you to take it deeper into relaxation. Because what they say is worrying about the future is where anxiety comes from. And worried about the past is where depression comes from. And neither one of them do you any good at all. because your strength is in the present, right here, right now. So take 3 deep breaths for the present, right here, right now. Feeling calm, eyes locked. Feeling calm, feeling peace, eyes locked. That's right. I want you to pretend right now that you are out on a lake. It's a beautiful lake, and the water is perfect. It's not